Okay, hey, we're here. We're going to tie a Steelhead Tube Fly using instead of a bead, we're going to use the Aqua Fly's Intruder eyes, and we're going to use an olive theme. So let's see how this goes. You know, when you work in a factory and you're tying steelhead flies to specifics, but you're tying a certain pattern, and every fly has to come out just like that. That's one situation, and that's not what I'm in right now, so I can be creative. So I goofed. I put down my dubbing, so I gotta go get it. So that's part of the fun of tying these flies. I know I want this fly to have basically an olive cast to it, but beyond that, I've got lots of freedom. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of ice dub, and what I'm gonna do a composite loop, and I've just got a little bit of ice. I've got an ice dub sandwich. I've got my OPST dubbing spinner, and I have some red ice dub, UV red, and I have some copper. And as you know, the UV red is just little fuzzy little stuff, and the copper is like strands. Comes in the same, you could call it the same thing, but boy, it isn't. So I have that kind of reddish undercolor. I have no idea if I actually put any, so I got more than I want here. So I'm gonna go around that. I'm gonna tie it off. So as I say, I don't remember if I put cement on my thread there, but if I didn't, let's say that I did for durability. I want this to be a nice little puff here. So why? I have enough sparkle there that the fish might see it. And it will help hold things out also. So now I'm gonna go to this brown. They actually might call this ginger. Grizzly saddle hackle tips. Now I could put my marabou on first. Do I want to do that? So the last time I didn't put my marabou on first, but maybe this time I will. And I'm looking for an olive that isn't too big, not too wide. If you've got a bunch of marabou that you want to use and the fibers are too long for the fly you want to tie, you could spin those marabou fibers in a dubbing loop. I'm looking for my pliers. So now I'm going to try to crease these fibers back. We call it folding. And that will help. I like what I'm seeing. You know, marabou sometimes doesn't behave. Marabou usually behaves. It's guinea that's the problem. Guinea is much harder. So I put on 3 good turns. I think that makes me happy. I could have just put on 2. Now I could stop right here, fish that fly, be a good fly. But I don't want to do that. I want to get some of these nice, slender, long Grizzly Hackle tips because they are going to wiggle so nicely. And because these are so darn slim, I can use the squared off pieces and they're still going to wiggle really nicely in the current. Don't you doubt it for an instant. So I got a couple on there now. Let's see if I can get, I want at least 4. I think my last fly I had 6 saddle tips. They could be the same length. They don't have to be. It's another real skinny one, so I'm going to use it. And you notice I'm not agonizing over how I handle the stem or anything. I just lash it on. And we're going to make sure it doesn't pull out because we're going to use some super glue. So I'm just trying to put these in the spaces in between the other hackle tips. Let's see if I can get one more in there. Oh yeah, there's a good space for it right there. Now I could use a natural Grizzly here. I could use, if I had it, I could use an orange. I don't think blue would look good. I don't think pink would look good. This piece is still nice and skinny. Let's put that on right there. Now the only drawback I've got here is I've got a fair amount of buildup right here. It's probably more than I want. I could hold this now, unwrap everything. Let me try that trick. I'm holding these hackle points in place. So I unwound a whole bunch of turns. Now I'm just going to go about 3, 4. Are they there? Yeah. Okay, now I've got less bulk here. Turns out that trick does work. A little bit of Loctite. So now I want a little bit of flash, and I'm gonna, instead of the ripple ice, I want this to be pretty subtle. So I'm gonna go back to my orange crystal flash, and the orange is gonna go well with my color theme here. I want this crystal flash to be about the same length as the longest Grizzly hackle tips. And I got a few up there, and I'm going to put a few underneath because this fly is tied in the round. But it's not going to fish in the round. And that's the tricky part. It's not going to fish in the round because instead of our perfect bead, I want to show you how to use the intruder eyes on a tube fly. So here's what I could do right now. Could put black on there. That'd make a real nice fly, olive and black. But I think what I'd like to do, I'd like to finish this off. I'm looking for a piece of marabou that's really pretty. I want to go olive and orange. That's a real good color combination, as long as, well, again, this is personal preference. I don't want that orange to overpower the olive. So, it is a little bit tricky when you put some Loctite on before you lash down your marabou, because every fiber of marabou that touches that Loctite is going to be stuck on it. I don't really want much of that going on. So, you could make this fly all olive. I don't think olive and blue would look good. Olive and brown would be good. Olive and tan. Olive and a little hint of shrimp pink would work. Olive and black. So I think I'm just about there. Now, I think I might have gotten 2.5 turns there. I think that's going to be just where I want to end it. A trapped fiber. Okay, now it's pretty important at this stage. I don't want to have a lot of thread buildup out here because that's not going to look good. If I was using a bead, it would be just fine because I could just seat my bead over the thread. And you'd never know that lump of thread was there. But I'd very much like to show you the intruder eyes. So I'm going to, and I think you'll see what I mean. Now I got a piece of marabou not behaving. Okay, so we got an absolutely gorgeous fly now. What would be a good color? I think I like the idea of the hot orange. Aqua flies, intruder eyes. They're hourglass shaped, powder coated. Very nice. These are the 5/32. So since this fly is tied in the round, I can put these eyes in anywhere I want to. So this is something I've been working with. And I wouldn't go so far as to assert that this is the best technique. But it seems to work. Put a little bit of Loctite on there.
Kind of looking for a bag, a backpack, something I can use.
And I put my eyes on. I'm gonna just wait a little bit here. So the point is, I don't really want I don't want to have a big gap between the marabou and the eyes. If I did, I'd be unhappy with the craftsmanship. The fish would take it just fine. I might add some ice dub or something up in there to fill the gap, but I like it, boy, as close to that as I can get. It'd make me happy, and I want to be happy. So I'm gonna pull the marabou back. I bring my thread over. I'm not cinching down hard. It's just barely making contact, and I go over the other way. I should have this, I should have more thread pulled out. So I go over again. And I go over again. Go over again. So I'm 3 times each way. And then I wrap around the base. And I'm the 3rd time around, I went a little bit more firmly, and going around the base, I'm going more firmly. And I think that's going to do it. And I want to look here because I want to make sure I don't have too much. I want to make sure it looks good here. And I've got a little bit of orange marabou showing through there. Now you could use an orange thread. I tend to like a dark thread, but it makes, see what I'm trying to do? See that little bit of orange marabou there? This is silly, but I'm just trying to cover that up. So people would think this is just tied in perfectly.
So many good zippers.
Whip finish. 2.
Cool, man. Feel free to
3. I'm gonna slip my scissors in this loop maybe. No, maybe I won't.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. A little bit of super glue right
Any questions at all, or?
there. So here we have it. Now this fly it's on a tube. It will be rigged with hook on a loop. The hook's gonna be right back about here. The knot is gonna suck right up into that tube and be placed in there firmly. And this is a beautiful, see there I went. I went and I took the flexing needle out. It's gonna ride just like this with the eyes down. Good color, good combination, good size, not too big, not too little. Hope you have fun tying this and fishing it. Thank you.